Assalamualaikum, my name is Mariana binti Abdul Aziz.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Rajimi Adrina Bitra Jasman.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Fazira binti Ibn Sa'ad.
Hi everyone, my name is Atira binti Shahrul.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nuzafra binti Muhammad Zaman. We are from Group 1 and we're going to present about Mr. Tahir. Social Security Program, or we known as SOCSO, which has been established in 1971, has been put under Ministry of Human Resources. So the purpose of this establishment is to protect the employee and their family in relation to the economic or any situation such as employee obtained injury during working or in relation with that. So we work together with departments of security and health, or we call it DOJ, in order to cover the employment injury, occupational disease and any invalidity that occurs. So there are two types of benefit and scheme under SOCSO, which are employment injury scheme and invalidity scheme. So for this case study, which relate to the Encik Tahir, who is 45 years old and working as a vehicle spare part operator. He faced severe back pain and the doctor diagnosed him to have the slip disc, and he need to undergo several physiotherapies, and he need to have steroid injection. So for this case study, we have 4 questions, and each of the question will be answered by our next member.
The first question is identify the availability scheme under the Employment Social Security Act 1969 for Encik Tahir. So the availability scheme for Encik Tahir was under the Employment Injury Scheme, or known as EIS. EIS provide protection for most of the formal employee upon the risings of an employment accidents or occupational disease during or at the time of the employment taken place. So usually EIS, they provide protection for many aspects of protection, but our focus today will be on occupational disease. So what is occupational disease? According to the 5th Schedules of Employment Social Security Act 1969, it defines occupational disease is a disease that received or getting by an individual or refer to the workers with the direct context of occupational. So usually what causes workers develop this kind of occupational disease is because of constant activities at the workplace that expose or which have direct contact with the employees' bodies, and eventually causes the employee develop certain levels of disease. Okay, based on the case study, we can see that due to the working conditions of Encik Tahir, which exposed him with a frequent bend and standing for a long periods of time, it causes Encik Tahir develop a back pain. And as a result, with the CT scan or MRI at the specialist hospital, Encik Tahir has developed slip disc, and that is why make Encik Tahir eligible to receive the Employment Injury Scheme, or EIS.
I will explain the questions number 2, which is explain 4 social security benefit that are eligible for Tahir by referring to the case study. According to the case study of Tahir, he is eligible to receive the medical benefit as he has suffered a slip disc while working at his workplace, and he was advised by the doctor to go to the physiotherapy. And the medical benefit is eligible to the employee who get the injury during their work or any occupational disease that he get from working. For example, the medical benefit that he can get is the treatment from the SOCSO panel clinic or the government hospital or clinic. Moreover, the employee who been injured at the workplace also entitled to compensation. For example, in Malaysia, it can be claimed at the SOCSO. And Tahir is eligible for the benefit because he sought a treatment at the panel clinic, and he also get from a specialist hospital. From the case study of Tahir, Tahir developed a slip disc because his job, which is require him to stand and bend for a long period of time, and when he discovered this disease, he will receive the benefit. For example, the government hospital can provide an emergency care, and the employees is entitled to the second class warded treatment. And he also will receive the greater benefit for based on the longer he work and for the company, and also when he contribute to this also. The next benefit that Tahir could get from social security benefit is a temporary disablement benefit, which is it is required to fit for working not less than 4 days, including the incident day, and the doctor need to provide a medical certificate from the date of accident and not less than 4 days. They are also can claim the benefit based on the salary of the employee, which is the salary multiplied with the numbers of days that he get the medical leave and divided with the rate, daily rate, which is 80%, and get how much he could claim. That is also. As for Tahir, he was hospitalized for 2 weeks and he can claim for 14 days. And for the claim, require the employee must be insured person under the Act. Furthermore, the social security benefit that Tahir could get is a permanent disablement, which is he need to go to the physiotherapist and also use the steroid injection for the pain and the injuries and cause the limit for the employee's capacity or ability to do their job back. And these injuries can be permanent injuries if it not be treated, and also can result in a lifelong nerve damage. So they need to apply the benefit within 12 months of the latest date of temporary disablement medical leave. Last but not least, Tahir also could get a facility for physical and vocational rehabilitations, which is he is eligible since he has been diagnosed with a sleep disc and must have a physiotherapy treatment. This also can provide a free rehabilitation benefit to the employee who are permanent disabled. For example, the rehabilitation of physical body is physiotherapy, orthopedic assistance such as wheelchair, walking stick, and etc. Also will cover all the expenses incurred in accordance with the organizational rules and regulations. That's all for me, so I will pass to the next presenter.
So, as an overview, Tahir needs to fulfill 3 aspects to get those benefits under Employment Injury Scheme provided in SOSO. The first aspect is actually proof of contingency. Tahir needs to show proof that there is accident happened during working. Next, claimant must be properly within the coverage. In this case, Tahir needs to be a member of SOSO and contribute based on the rate of contribution stated in the third schedule in SOSO Act 1969. Also, he must be a worker in formal sector and must be a Malaysian citizen. Last but not least, various conditions need to be fulfilled, which depends on the types of scheme or benefits that he has claimed for. So, as for the qualifying conditions under medical benefit, Tahir must be an insured person mentioned in Section 37, as well as presented Form 34 known as Borang Butiran Notis dan Tuntutan Faedah to the panel clinic. The employer's duty is actually to ensure that Tahir has been registered under SOSO scheme and also provide letter of identity of Tahir. The scale of benefit, medical benefit can be referred to Section 38. Section 22 subsection 1 subsection A and B mention about temporary disablement where it needs to be last at least 4 days from the days of accident to make him eligible to it. As for permanent disablement, where the total or partial, it needs to be last for a limited period or perhaps for life. Section 57 subsection 1 explains that an insured person eligible for permanent disablement benefits shall also be eligible for physical and vocational rehabilitation free of charge. In addition, Section 57 subsection 4 stated that he needs to be an insured person who has to undergo physical or vocational rehabilitation or who is to be fitted with prosthetic, orthotic or other appliances. Then he shall be paid or reimbursed reasonably in accordance with the expenses incurred in connection with such measures.
For question 4, in this case study, the question asks 6 types of written tort hierarchy that may be relevant in Tahir case. So in this context, written tort or RTW in short is a SOSO program that was introduced in 2007 for insured person that suffering from employment injury. Well, it is a proactive strategy to assisting injured person with injuries or disease to return to safe and productive work activity as soon as they are medically practicable. So the first type of return to work hierarchy is same job and same employer, which brought out the meaning where the person or workers with disabilities work in the same organizations and hold the same position as a previous one. And also, returning to work in the same place will make the workplace environment will be assessed more carefully, and the organizations will take actions to provide a safer working environment for their employees. We'll continue with the next type, which is similar job and same employer, where the injured person working with the same employer but perform a different task from the previous one, which suit the employee's injuries. Well, this type will make employees feel valued and appreciated, as well as enhance employee motivations, which resulting in a higher quality performance. The third type in the hierarchy is different job but same employer, where the disabilities workers work for the same company yet in a completely different position than before. So in this case, Mr. Tahir injured in slip disc, which make him unable to perform the same job. So what employee can do? The employee can give him another task or job that will not harm his health. In that addition, giving him the opportunity to continue working with a job scope appropriate with his health will help him from being unemployed, and that shows that the employer take care of the employee's welfare. Moving on to the next type, which is the same job but this time with different employer, where the employees will perform the same task as before but for a different organizations. They are not returning to their old company due to many reasons, which one of them might be because of the previous organizations are lack of opportunities for advancements in the workplace. And in addition, working in under different employers or organization could be an advantage to the injured person, as they offer the employees to better benefit, including new appropriate working environment based on the employee's current condition. Not just that, there is also another types under different employer, where the injured person works in different job scope compared to their previous work, also for different organizations. Well, this allowing the person to pertaining new skills in the job scope in accordance with the person's current situation due to their injury. Well, aligned with this case, the new employer may be assigned Mr. Tahir to a position that does not require him to stand and bend for lengthy periods of time. Such as monitoring spare part component inventories rather than personally installing them. Well, the last type in SOCSO return to work hierarchy is self-employed, where the insured person works for their own or do a freelance according to their expertise. And with this method, they could set their own work schedules or even their own work environment for their abilities, as well as it will boost their earning potential despite their injuries rather than just becoming unemployed.
As a conclusion, Encik Tahir can apply for the employment injury scheme because he got the injury due to the working condition. So he has the right to claim for all the benefit that have been said before. That's all from us. Thank you.